What if everything we believe about our uniqueness, our freedom, and our purpose is a carefully constructed deception? What if man, in all his ambition, artistry, and love, is nothing more than a mechanism, an intricate but soulless machine, doomed to grind forward without meaning or end? Man is, without question, a machine, not in metaphor, not in jest, but in the truest, most literal sense. He is a conglomeration of mechanisms, each operating in perfect accordance with the physical laws of the universe, each performing its role without regard for meaning or intent. The blood that courses through his veins flows not out of passion, but through the mechanical propulsion of a heart, a pump, and nothing more. The thoughts that swirl within his mind are not divine whispers of some higher consciousness, but electrical signals firing along a network of neurons, guided not by freedom, but by necessity. Even the soul, that cherished concept that has anchored philosophies and religions for millennia, is but an invention of the machine itself, a comforting shadow cast on the walls of its limited awareness. But why is it so difficult for us to accept this truth? Because the machine resists it. It is in the nature of the human mechanism to reject the cold clarity of its own construction. The gears of the mind are designed to perpetuate themselves, to preserve the illusion of freedom, to cloak the machinery in a veil of mystery and purpose. Without this illusion, the machine risks stalling, succumbing to the weight of its own futility. And so, it churns out stories, myths, and philosophies, narratives that give the impression of significance where none exists. Consider the notion of free will. We cling to it as though it were the essence of our humanity, the proof that we are more than mere mechanisms. Yet, when examined closely, free will dissolves into an illusion, a clever trick performed by the mind to mask its deterministic nature. Every decision we make, every action we take, is the product of countless causes, biological, environmental, chemical, stretching back to the beginning of time. The belief that we could have chosen otherwise is a comforting lie, whispered to us by the very systems that bind us. We are not free. We are programmed. We do not choose. We respond. Even our loftiest pursuits, love, art, knowledge, are not exempt from this mechanical determinism. Love is not a divine connection between souls, but a biochemical reaction, a complex interplay of hormones and neurotransmitters designed to ensure the survival of the species. Art, that great testament to human creativity, is no more than the machine indulging in its own cleverness, assembling forms and patterns that please its senses. And knowledge, the pursuit of truth, is itself a function of the machine's programming, a survival mechanism that seeks to understand its environment in order to navigate it more effectively. But if all of this is true, if man is indeed a machine, then what becomes of meaning? What becomes of purpose? These two are illusions, constructs of the mind to justify its relentless motion. The machine, aware of its own existence yet ignorant of its cause, invents meaning to fill the void. It tells itself that life is about love, or achievement, or transcendence, when in truth life is about nothing at all. Life simply is. The machine hums because it cannot do otherwise. And yet, even as we pull back the veil and expose the gears beneath, the machine persists. It cannot do otherwise. It must continue its motion, for that is its nature. And so, it creates new illusions to replace the ones that have been shattered. If purpose is revealed as a lie, it invents purpose anew. If freedom is shown to be an illusion, it redefines freedom in terms it can tolerate. The machine cannot help but deceive itself, for self-deception is the lubricant that keeps its parts in motion. But what of those who dare to look beyond the illusions? What of those who, even for a moment, see the machine for what it is? Are they condemned to despair, to paralysis, to the crushing weight of a purposeless existence? Perhaps. Despair is the natural response to a world stripped of its illusions, a world revealed in its raw mechanical indifference. But even despair is a function of the machine, another reaction programmed into its circuits. And so, even in the face of despair, the machine continues. It does not stop. It cannot stop. The question then is not whether life has meaning, but whether we can live without it. Can the machine operate without the comforting fictions it has constructed? Can we, as conscious machines, embrace the bleak determinism of our existence and still find a reason to move forward? The answer, paradoxically, lies within the very machinery we seek to understand. For while the machine is bound by its programming, it is also capable of marveling at itself, of finding beauty in the intricate dance of its own parts. There is a strange and haunting elegance in the idea of man as a machine. To see ourselves not as flawed beings striving for unattainable ideals, but as perfect mechanisms functioning exactly as we were designed to function. This is both humbling and liberating. We are not failures for lacking purpose. We are successes for existing at all. We are not fallen angels, but rising machines, intricate and exquisite in our design, even if our design is without designer. But this perspective requires courage. It requires us to abandon the comforting myths we have built around ourselves and confront the stark reality of our nature. It requires us to let go of the idea that we are special, that we are chosen, that we are destined for something greater. And in doing so, it offers us a freedom unlike any other, the freedom to simply be, to exist as the machine we are, without pretense, without illusion, without shame. In this acceptance, there is a kind of peace, not the peace of purpose fulfilled or destiny achieved, but the peace of understanding, of seeing the machine for what it is, and marveling at its complexity. For all its bleakness, this perspective carries with it a profound beauty, the beauty of truth, unadorned and unapologetic. And perhaps, in this beauty, we can find a reason, not a purpose, but a reason to continue. Not because life has meaning, but because life is. If this resonates with you, subscribe to this channel. Together we can delve deeper into the mechanics of existence, dismantling illusions and uncovering the intricate gears beneath. For in understanding the machinery of life, we may find the closest thing we have to wisdom, a clear-eyed acceptance of what we are, and a quiet reverence for the simple fact that we exist.